What's up, guys? Today we're here to review Shadow of Mordor for the Xbox One. I gotta say, man, this year's starting off pretty good. Well, I mean, the year's already started off, but I consider, September, October to kind of be the start of the gaming season, I like to call it, because from here on out, as the months go on, we're going to get game releases, and we're going to get great games that we still have a lot to look forward to this year. This being one of the games that I was really looking forward to. This was in my top 10 games I was looking forward to 2014, and I must say, it did not disappoint at all. If you're a fan of the Lord of the Rings, and you love the franchise, and you love the story and the characters, you're going to love this game, I guarantee it. Me, I've played many Lord of the Rings games in the past. Games from the PlayStation, to the Xbox 360. And while, some of the games were okay for their time, I just feel like Lord of the Rings is one of those franchises that has never had, that game that you can look at and say, oh man, but did you play that game? For instance, like Batman. And, Batman's gonna be talked about the Arkham Knight series, or, the Arkham series in a little bit we talked about in this review. But, for instance, he never had a great game. And then finally, all of a sudden he had one great game. Then he had two, and now he's gonna have a third one. Finally you can sit there and say, well, out of all these franchises, Lord of the Rings finally has that ultimate gaming experience, that ultimate game, that game that anybody who's a fan of the franchise can pick up and can say, wow, man, this is a good game. Shadow of Mordor is an open world game, which I absolutely love. The campaign, you don't have to, do a mission by a certain time. You can go out and do one mission, and then go do side quests, do all this. And I love open world games, and it feels like now, since we're next gen and the hardware's so advanced, it feels like that maybe we're going to start seeing a lot more open world games. And that's something that I look forward to. And I think that's what makes Shadow of Mordor good, is it's an open world game. That's what a Lord of the Rings game is supposed to be, an open world game. Not a game that's scripted, that you go through certain levels that are small or not. It's supposed to be an open world game. Lord of the Rings is the franchise that has to be an open world game. Pretty much the story is this: you're a ranger, and you're pretty much set to hold down the Black Gate, as they like to call it. You gotta defend that. As you're defending, you're doing a good job. You have a wife, you have a son. Your son's starting to grow up to be a man who one day is also going to be protecting the Black Gate. And then one day, the Black Hand shows up, and he's there, and he sacrifices your wife and your son to resurrect an elf lord who you don't know who he is. You don't know why they want to resurrect him. But as they resurrect him, he somehow ends up bonding to the ranger who's about to die, and they end up breathing one, and he keeps the ranger alive. So the ranger cannot move on to be with his family in the heavens. Now he's still alive, and he asks this elf, what is this? How do we get out of this? And it's a curse that has been put on him. So in order to do this, he must defeat the Black Hand to end the curse so he can move on with his family. But at the same time, they want to know why the elf lord, who has amnesia for some reason, doesn't remember who he is, what he's done to make him so important. Throughout the game, you have to go back and you have to find clues from his past. You'll find levels where you dig up a little hammer, and you slowly see memories and fragments of his life that he used to once be. And then eventually you'll catch on and you realize he was the one who made the rings. The 9 rings, the one to rule them all. And then at the same time, you realize that this isn't just really a game about revenge anymore. It's also about redemption. Redemption for the both of them. Both of them have done wrong. Clearly the ranger wants revenge for his wife and his son, but at the same time, he starts to realize that he wants redemption also. Maybe he was supposed to be something bigger and better to his family and to his fellow dominant race of men. And at the same time, the elf who realizes who he used to be. He wants redemption and he wants revenge because his family was killed in the same way, and he wants redemption because he's the one who built the rings, and now they have to live with this evil, and he wants to redeem himself by that. And this story is so great, and it feels just like one of the movies. It's awesome. Um, from there, you go on, you fight a lot of different enemies. Well, pretty much the Yorks, who are all pretty much the same. But however, the Nemesis System, which is, I hope, a system that are in video games starting sooner. I hope they're in there more often. It's a phenomenal system. Pretty much you have war chiefs, who are the top guys, and you have the captains, and I think lieutenants, and then you have like soldiers. Okay? And what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to kill throughout the ranks. You kill the soldiers, then you go to the lieutenants, and the captains, and the war chiefs. And as you kill them, you weaken Simon's army. And as you do that, he gets more vulnerable. But the thing is, you're not going to be able to go after a war chief right away because you have to upgrade your powers. And trust me when I tell you that, because I tried going after a war chief within the first 2 hours of playing this game. Nope. Don't do it. You're going to regret it. My recommendation, you go out, you go through the levels. I mean, eventually what you have to do for a campaign mission is you have to kill 4 of the war chiefs. So I'm just saying, I would go out and work up to that point, and when you get that, go out and play a lot of the side missions, such as side missions like killing so many enemies within a minute with your sword, or getting so many headshots with your arrow. Go out, level up, because that's going to be the best thing you can do, is level up and get more experience. You're going to need level up. Because you can level up, you can customize abilities and stuff, which I'm going to get to in a minute, which is pretty cool. Going back to the Nemesis System, however, each enemy you face, each war chief, captain, lieutenant, soldier, all different. They look different, they act different, they talk different. And they got different weapons. And it's just, it's nice and refreshing. I played the whole campaign twice, and I never went and had to face against another same enemy from the last game I played. You will actually play against brand new enemies with new weapons, and some of them got different abilities. Some of them you can attack with range. Some of them you can't. Some of them you can stealth kill. Some of them you can't. But the really cool thing about this, well, it's cool, but at the same time it sucks if you die a lot, is whether it be a war chief, a captain, a lieutenant, or a soldier, if they kill you, they will move into the ranks. If there's nobody in the spots as you kill them, they will move up the ranks, and they'll also power up, which also as they power up, you start to lose abilities. For instance, if they once were able to sneak up and kill them with stealth, that ability may be gone and you can't do that anymore. Now you have to fight them head on. And it's interesting to the game because it puts a lot of, thought into it. You're like, oh, well, I can't stealth kill him anymore. Well, now I gotta try to face him, and usually these guys have a bunch of other Yorks with them all over the place, so you'll be fighting maybe 30, 40 guys at a time, and it sucks, because you gotta be right on with your countering. You gotta be not only looking at the guy you're trying to kill, but you gotta be dead on when you counter. And if you can't hit Y and you gotta hit A, for instance, you gotta move because guys with the spears are coming at you, then you gotta make sure you're dead on. If not, you're gonna die a lot. That's like I said about this game, is you wanna go and do a lot of side missions. You wanna level up. Getting down to the upgrades and upgrading stuff, you wanna go for your health. Whatever you do first, upgrade your health. Trust me, it's gonna pay off in the long run. Because if not, and your health starts out very little, you're gonna die quicker. The more you die, the more these guys level up, the more it's gonna be harder to kill them. So I would recommend you go out, level up your health as fast as you can, as much as you can. You can upgrade things like your sword. You can make your strikes more powerful, so that way you can kill quicker enemies. You can upgrade certain abilities for your bow and arrow. You have your you pretty much have your 3 weapons. You have your main sword, you have your bow and arrow, and then you have your stealth I guess you would say maybe not a dagger, but like a mini sword kind of. Each one, I believe, has 5 slots. And what you can do is, as you progress through the game, you can unlock the slots, and you can have it where, for your sword, if you get 30 kills in a row going straight, then you regain your health, or you regain more arrows. Or for instance, when you're an elf, I forget the name of it, but the elf shot where you can put in slow motion, that runs down eventually. So you have to refill it up. In order to refill it, you have to kill enemies, so you can put that in there. So or even if you for your bow and arrow, you can put, if you get a headshot, you get the percentage of health regained. You get more arrows. The same thing with stealth killing. You can, you stealth kill somebody, you get like a 50% chance of getting your health to regain if you need it. It's pretty cool. I like it. I definitely enjoy it. I wish, however, with the weapons though, if you kill a boss that has a sword that's, I know some of them have poison on them. Why can't you unlock that and use that against your enemies? I think that would be really cool. Unfortunately, they don't have that. But however, unlocking and upgrading your sword, your bow, and then your dagger, as I will call it, it is great. I mean, I enjoy it. It makes it, oh, I gotta unlock that. I can unlock that, and hey, I can use that against them. And it works out a lot. Especially, like I said, when you're facing guys, facing a group of 30 to 40 people, it is killer, man. It's a pain in the ass, and it's tough to do, but eventually you get used to it, and if your weapons and you're upgraded good enough, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. Gameplay. Now, earlier we talked about Batman, and I said this is going to be coming back into it. This game, people have been labeling this game as nothing but a Batman Arkham and Assassin's Creed Lord of the Rings game, and that is true. That is so very true right there. In the sense of it being Batman Arkham fighting, pretty much, the counter, you hit Y, and then you pretty much hit X to strike down, you hit B to stun, A to counter. It's got the controls just like Batman Arkham. And that's not a bad thing. People are saying, well, it's just a hybrid of Batman, Lord of the Rings, and Assassin's Creed mixed together. But, there are a lot of games now that come out, take different elements from other games and put them into those, and it's hard to really make a great game with that. Lord of the Rings, the Shadow of Mordor does that. It does it great. It works phenomenal. Assassin's Creed comes into the mix with the stealth gameplay in here, climbing up the walls, moving along the rooftops, jumping down, stealth killing. It all works great, and it all works as this Batman mix of Assassin's Creed gameplay inside of a Lord of the Rings story, and it's phenomenal, and it works out great. And I don't want anybody to sit here and say, oh, well, hey, it's just a mixture of Batman and Assassin's Creed gameplay. Don't let that bother you, because if you love both of those games, and you love those gameplay mechanics mixed in with a Lord of the Rings story, open world, you're going to love this game. I guarantee it. Let's move on to music and voice acting. Music's stellar in this game. I love the soundtrack. The music comes in always at the right time, at the right moments. There's moments that make you feel heroic and badass, and just as you get ready to clash with one of the war chiefs, you got that song going, you're like, alright, let's do it, man. Let's go. Here we go. You know what I mean? It gets you going, your blood pumping. Voice acting is great in this game. I've never heard any of the voices in this game that sound dull or not entertaining. Graphics are pretty good. I gotta admit, maybe I thought for being at next gen, the graphics should be maybe a little bit more better. But other than that, it's definitely a great, amazing, beautiful game. And there's 2 chapters for this game. There's, when you start out at the Black Gate, it's nothing but all rocks. It's kind of like Mount Doom. No grass, no scenery, nothing, just all rocks. Then you get into the second phase of the game, where it's all rocks and waterfalls and beautiful skies, and you can look out. If you're high enough, you can look out there, and you wonder what that world looks like more out there, and it's amazing. It's got great gameplay and great graphics, a great story, great voice acting. So let's get to the final verdict here, people. I'm going to give Shadow of Mordor an 8 out of 10. A great game. Like I said, if you love Batman Arkham and Assassin's Creed gameplay mixed, okay, you love those two? Okay, mix those together and then throw in a Lord of the Rings story on top of that in an open world game. Yes, amazing. 8 out of 10. Like I said, 8 out of 10. I'm loving this game so much. I'm still gonna play it more. I mean, now I'm at the point where I'm on the, I've already started the second story. I'm at to end it. Like I said before, the Nemesis System doesn't let you ever have a dull moment. It makes new characters. Everything's always different, so it's always nice and refreshing. It's not like, hey, you beat the campaign and you go back and you fight the same enemies. That will not happen. Shadow of Mordor, like I said, if you like Batman, Arkham, and Assassin's Creed gameplay, you mix that together with the Lord of the Rings story, open world, you're going to have fun. You're going to enjoy this game. I guarantee you. I did. And if I enjoyed it, and I'm a huge fan of the Lord of the Rings fans, I can only imagine you guys will. Like, subscribe, and comment, please. Let me know what you thought about the game if you played it yet. And I'd like to hear from you. Also, hopefully, by maybe the end of next week, I'm going to have an Alien Isolation review out. I'm probably going to pick that up either today or tomorrow. Hopefully, start playing that. That's on the top 10 games I was looking for 2014. I'm trying to nail all those suckers out. And I know some games aren't coming out to next year. Don't worry about that. I got you covered. But again, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you guys the next time I do a review, whether it be for games, whether it be for movies, or whether it be for my TTMs. No matter what, I always look forward to hearing from you guys, and I appreciate the views and the likes, and hopefully we can get more people to like and subscribe to me and watch this stuff. And, I'm really trying to open up. I've seen a lot of people do reviews, and me being a huge gamer, I just want to give you my review of a game and let you guys know what I think, and, help out anybody who's having second thoughts on the game at all. So, like I said, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. You guys have a good one.